Hello, raise your hands if somebody learned any skill right now. Okay, yes, we all learn various skills, but not happiness. Why? Because we assume happiness as a state, not a skill. But what if happiness is also a skill? As the author of Black Swan, Nassim Taleb said, I wrote with my blood, and every thought is the story of my life. And my speech today is exactly the same. One of the fundamental questions that intrigued philosophers, psychologists, and personal individuals for centuries: can happiness be learned? Many researchers work on happiness issue. One of them is the founder of positive psychology, Martin Seligman. And he has three dimensions of happiness that can be cultivated through our life. One of them is a good life, the second one is a pleasant life, and the third one is a meaningful life. Good life is our powerful and straightness. Pleasant life is about relationships and communication, and meaningful life is about our life purpose. If we come to my personal story of happiness, it wasn't so happy at the beginning. So in my childhood, I was very addicted on the opinion of others. I thought that somebody or something need to bring me happiness or make me happy. And I thought that it must be some special conditions, special things that would make me happy. But nothing happened. Then I moved to my adult life of married woman with the same mindset. As a result, I said to myself, I need to inspire my partner, to push him to bring some happiness in our house. And it's like his responsibility to bring happiness in our family. It's like in ancient time, just think, when the man need to bring a mammoth to the house. But happiness still wasn't coming. Then we worked very hard. We opened our business. We gave a life to our son. And then we do a lot of efforts to be happy. But still, we didn't feel happiness. And then I just think, why it happens? Why I can't be happy? Why I can't feel happiness? And it was 2017. And at that time, I started learning Martin Seligman's positive psychology. And I found that for many years, we are working for working, but not trying to find our meaningful life. After that point, many things changed. So firstly, I start with my career. I start working as a business trainer. I start traveling. I start met new people. And also I worked a lot with other people and entrepreneurs. Secondly, my financial prosperity grew. From 1.5 years, we, with my husband, built a house. We bought a flat. And then after maybe 5 months, bought the second one. Worth in note that previously we don't have any flat. That's why it was very tremendous achievement for us. And then about my relationship. It's about harmony in relationship. I understand that my partner, my family doesn't need to be the people who will bring me something. So I just try to build my way, and then they can join me. So what's changed? Firstly, changed my understanding. I understood that happiness is not merely circumstances or some external factors that addicted on happiness, affected happiness. Firstly, many research said that we are not happy. Why? Because we're waiting for happiness from outside. And when we are waiting, it's like always waiting or trying to find guarantees that happiness will be lasting forever. But what happens then? As more we receive, as less we are happier. Why it happens? Just think, if you drink the fifth glass of water, Do you feel the same happiness as the first one? No. It's because long-term happiness matched with our attitudes, with our perspectives, and with our values. So I built my good life. Secondly, well-being. Well-being is about relationships. Happiness built on relationships. Latest Harvard research says that happiness is not built only with goals, but built with well-being and our communication with people. And when we build close, positive relationship with others, we are not just become happier, we feel much stronger, we are healthier, and we live longer. So which means it's our pleasant life. And the last thing was about meaningful life. It's about our purpose and how to build meaningful life. In my case, it was 2017, 7 years ago, I started working with my life purpose. Before that, I was working sake of working. So I just working a lot, but don't feel anything. But when I understand that I need to have life purpose, I need to have my life strategy, I understand that we could build meaningful life. So how do you think I just move from my unhappy starting point to the happy point? Firstly, and only because I just learned happiness as a skill. As we train our body, we can train our mind to cultivate happiness. That's why happiness is so important, but also need to be assumed as a skill. And I want to share some skills, some life hacks that helps me and my mentees work with happiness and build this happiness life. Firstly, trust the process. What we mean when we say trust the process? When we think about financial markets, we have some short-term and long-term vulnerability. For example, I invest in shares. And if you see on the right side of this picture, red circles, it is a vulnerability of the cost of the shares for maybe 1 year or maybe 2 years. As you see, vulnerability is high. But if you look on the left side at the same picture, where you see the vulnerability of the market for 30 years, you see that it's not so important. So in our life, we need to trust the process. Sometimes when you are in the moment, in present, it looks like something horrible happens. But when you look on this situation for long term, you see that it's not so important. For example, I do it in my financial strategy, and it helps me to cultivate and accumulate my money in shares. So it's also trusting the process, not just selling and buying because I'm afraid of something. Secondly, it's about being able to let something go. So the mindfulness of being at the present time. I have one very good and interesting rule. Some things that we can't be able to change, we need to be worried about. We need to be not to be nervous because of these things. And on the other hand, we must not be absorbed with the future or decisions that we can make easily. So only 2 points. If you can't change, why you need to be worried? Just do it. If you can't change, still, why you need to be worried? You are still can't change anything. That's why just be in present tense and be able to let something go. And the last thing, but the most important maybe, working with the self-esteem. Self-esteem is really important for people because our mindset, our work, and everything that we do started with our self-esteem. For now, we have one mentorship program. In that mentorship program, we work with 200 entrepreneurs. And what we see, a lot of business problems started with the self-esteem problems. And when the person can't work with his self-esteem, what happens? The self-esteem is not stable, so it's very connected to the opinions of others, of external factors. So it's going sometimes up, sometimes going down, and it borders you in this person from new achievements, because you are looking on other people, not inside. And working with the self-esteem, it's firstly when you discover value inside yourself, not outside. And it helps you to bring and to build meaningful life. So when you master happiness, happiness will design other aspects of your life. It works like this. Many years ago, we tried to find a lot of different things and then to build happiness from these things. But the idea that we need to find and to build happiness firstly, and after that, other aspects will be better and easier to obtain. And while we pursued happiness is not easy always to have, it can be learned. And as you assume from my speech, learning happiness as a skill is a vital nowadays, because we find our own way and our own life purpose. And if it comes to me, I can say that I learned happiness as a skill. And I can say about myself that I built meaningful life, good life, and a pleasant life. Thank you.